So, Mr. Democratic National Committee is now reduced to working in my kitchen.
When Mr. Committee's wife is crusading against rapacious land-owning swine.
It's you and me.
Morton Mark. And the bottle. You know, sometimes when I want to talk to Jill, I call her on the phone.
You know, the next time you talk to her, you should just tell her to tell Millie to tell her friends in Congress to return my calls. I can't even get them on the phone. You know, she's got one in the living room.
You know they're going in an office space together? 2 therapists, no waiting.
I should be a client. I'd see her more.
There's a common area. You know, there's a whole social hall downstairs. Nobody uses it.
People don't want to meet in a cold, empty room. They want to meet in a house where they can smell cooking and where there's some togetherness.
Your idea of togetherness is a rent strike?
7 families have already had to move out, and you want to wait till the 7th?
Well, I'm saying the home is the home. It's our home. The outside world should stay that way. And nobody's breaking their backs to make us any happier.
Well, you keep up that attitude, nobody ever will. Come here.
The next few years were so filled with activity, it's hard to imagine. Our 2 beautiful daughters were born a year apart, and Millie's practice grew like a brush fire. She was an amazing therapist and helped people through some of the hardest periods of their lives, whether they could afford it or not. Kennedy anticipated that Orrin Hatch would co-sponsor. And my career was taking off as I'd always hoped it would. When I arrived in Washington and was fortunate enough to meet Fred Barnes, we became very close friends. So in addition to the regular TV exposure we were both getting on the McLaughlin Group, we even started our own television show, The Beltway Boys. But life with Millie was still life with Millie.
Listen, I think the less emotional of us should start things off.
Fine, as long as it's not you.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
It means that whenever somebody's an expert at something, you roll right over for them.
You're changing the
You
subject.
know, when are you going to learn that it's almost always the experts who mess up?
Oh, always. Right.
Okay, not always. And it's not even the experts. It's the people who swallow whatever they have to dish out.
We have to go in here united.
Well, we are united. We just disagree.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
We tested her twice, Mrs. Kondracki.
Listen to me.
Both times,
Listen to me, you're
we
not-
came away with exactly the same.
Look, you're not putting her in a special class. Okay, she needs to stay with the kids she's with right now. She's every bit as smart as they are.
But without the ability to read, Mrs. Kondracki.
She has the ability and she can read.
Millie, let's just first listen to what they have to say.
No,
and
no,
then
no.
we can...
No. There's something wrong here. Listen, you segregate these kids into 2 groups, the smart ones and the dumb ones, and then you mark them for life. And Andrea is not dumb, and I'll bet the other ones aren't either.
We test them, Mrs. Kondracki. We test them extensively. I do not randomly group people by my own personal whimsy.
So test her again. Or use better tests, because this girl last year was doing math 2 grade levels above her own. She learned to tell time before her older sister could. There's nothing slow in that.
Mrs. Kondracki.
She needs to be taught. And you people are either too lazy
Millie?
or you're too ill-equipped to give that girl what she needs.
Did you ever consider, Mrs. Kondracki, that it might not be Andrea who needs to be reached?
But of course, Millie was right. Andrea was dyslexic, and Millie stayed with her until someone caught it. And I learned what Millie already knew, that loving somebody isn't enough if you don't also believe in them. And if you believe in someone, then you don't give up. And for anyone keeping score, I should mention that Andrea continued on to graduate from Johns Hopkins Medical School.
You don't have to be so nervous, you know? It's just dinner.
I'm not nervous. It's not just dinner.
No, it's dinner at the British Embassy with a group of people that you're uncomfortable with because you can't figure out if you're higher or lower on the scale than they are.
No, that's ridiculous.
Because if they're higher than you, then you feel inferior to them. And if they're lower, you're too good for them. So you end up spending the rest of the evening talking to me, which is not what these events are about.
I like talking to you.
Oh, you won't if you try tonight.
Hello.
Mort, it's Alex. I need to talk to Millie right away.
Yeah, hang on a second. It's Alex.
My sister?
Yeah, something's up.
Okay. Alex? What's the matter?
I've only got a second. A friend staying with us here in London really needs Mort's help.
Who is it? What am I supposed to tell her? Mort, she's my sister. She didn't ask to stumble onto an international incident.
I know she didn't ask to. I'm just telling you what my source at state said. If Alex's Bulgarian poet friend wants to defect, he has to get himself to the embassy in London. They can't go pick him up.
Well, did you tell him he might get killed or they find him on the streets?
Millie, I did everything I could.
No, you did what you're comfortable doing. You made one phone call. You need to act like you're not afraid to act.
I'm not afraid to act.
Well, so prove it. Your breath smells like whiskey.
Peter, what are they doing down at Spy Central? You're hanging out here.
I can't help your friend Mort. Excuse me. I'll have a Merlot, please.
Oh, sorry, sir. Tonight we have Cabernet.
Excellent. I will have a Merlot. Well, there's the ambassador. Why not try her?
Thanks.
Well, be sure to tell him. Right, I will. Nice to see you. You too. Thank you so much for having us this evening. Thank you.
Madam Ambassador.
Mr. Kondraki, I've been told to avoid you this evening. Nice to see you.
Well, thank you. We have a bit of a situation here, and I think if I have to write it up, it's not going to look good as an obituary.
I see.
I gave them to
No,
you.
I don't have them. You've got them. You've got the tickets.
No, I don't have. I don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ticket, please.
Hi.
The package will be on the plane.
Does that mean that was like a spy movie?
Well, he is a spy.
Well, look at you. You're just all satisfied with yourself.
Are you?
Thank you.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you.
That was like a spy movie.
Thank you.